So it turns out Sarah Palin has her own crazy reverend guy. This is from Ed Calnans, the senior pastor of Wasilla Assembly of God. Palin attended here for most of her life until her new affiliation with a similar church in the state's capital, Juneau. So here, this is a excerpt from one of this guy, her former pastor's speeches. What you see in a terrorist, that's called the invisible enemy. There has always been an invisible enemy. What you see in Iraq basically is a manifestation of what's going on in this unseen world called the spirit world. We need to think like Jesus thinks. We are in a time and a season of war, and we need to think like that. We need to develop that instinct. We need to develop as believers the instinct that we are at war, and that war is contending for your faith. Jesus called us to die. You're worried about getting hurt? He called us to die. Listen, you know we can't even follow him unless you are willing to give up your life. I believe that Jesus himself operated from that position of war mode. Everyone says war mode. Everyone say war mode. Now you say, wait a minute, Ed. He's like the good shepherd. He's loving all the time. And he's kind all the time. Oh yes, he is. But I also believe that he had a part of his thoughts that knew he was in a war. I'm putting a link to this article in the description, and the writer just continues at the end. How will the Republican Party and the pundits handle Palin's Reverend Wright moment? Did McCain vet her on matters of her religious ties, knowing how devastating the impact of his church selection turned out to be for Obama? You'd think. But maybe McCain knew all along and thought it was no big deal. Which scenario is more sobering? And how do non-Christians in the rest of the country in Alaska feel about the end of times philosophy of this church? Is this one more step toward the end of times of the McCain-Palin ticket? Let us pray.